Hi, my name is Barbara Longuet of the Conscious Capitalist Podcast. I'll be sharing ways to increase your profitability and operational efficiency while improving your company culture, whether your employees are all remote or in person. I'm a best-selling author, a speaker, and a profit coach. And today I am honored to have with us John Lee Dumas, the legendary host of Entrepreneurs on Fire, an award-winning podcast where he interviews inspiring entrepreneurs who are truly on fire. With over 2,500 episodes, 1 million plus listens a month, and 7 figures of annual revenue, JLD is just getting started. Visit eofire.com to set your entrepreneurial journey on fire. One of the things we'll be talking about is the fact that since 2012, when John began podcasting, he's earned over $17,646,772. So join me in welcoming JLD. Acknowledge that you have earned $17,646,772 since you began podcasting at the end of last month, and that is a phenomenal achievement and totally groundbreaking as a podcaster. I also want to acknowledge that you're not afraid to talk about your successes or your failures either. You recently had an affiliate program that didn't go the way you wanted it to go. You didn't make the money you wanted to make, and it cost you not just time and money, but a whole lot of energy. How do you recover mentally and emotionally from setbacks like that?
Well, first off, Barbara, thanks for having me on the show. Much appreciated. And I really do enjoy your kind words. And, that's a big number that you shared, 17 million, blah, 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 blah. But, Joe Rogan did just sign with Spotify for $100 million. So I still got a little ways to go to get to the king of the hill status in the podcasting world. But, I'm not complaining for any way, shape, or form. But, it's been a great journey. It's been very enjoyable. To me, it's always about the ups and the downs. It's the roller coaster. I mean, if there were no struggles, if there were no obstacles, if there were no challenges, then why would you ever enjoy the successes and the wins and the high points? Because if that's all you experience, that's all you would know. So that's why I love the journey. That's why I love entrepreneurship. That's why, even though last month, as you mentioned, we had, a failure, a flop, a struggle, and, a lot of things went wrong, even though, we're 8 years in, $17 million, of revenue generated. We still make mistakes. We still have, failures and obstacles and challenges. And frankly, I'm happy about that, because that means that we're still pushing the envelope. That means we're trying new things, because all the magic happens outside of the comfort zone. And if I go too many months, if I go too long without a big failure, then that's just because I'm not pushing myself.
That's a really key note there. Thanks for sharing that. And I wanted to talk as well, because so many business owners are able to make money, and so many business owners have gone the lifestyle route. You've been able to do both. What's your secret to creating both financial and lifestyle freedom?
Intention. Like, I intentionally created this business. I'm not going to lie, that $17 million number is a huge number. It could be a lot bigger. It could be a lot bigger. And guess what? I don't care, because it's where I want it to be right now, when I'm balancing overall business and revenue, and then health and lifestyle and just quality and enjoyment of my day-to-day. I can make more money. I know how to make more money. We need to work harder to make more money, and I don't want to do that. Like, I'm very happy and I'm very satisfied. I do work hard, but I also work very smart, and I work very intentionally. And to me, that's the big takeaway here is be intentional. Like, what is financial success to you? What is financial location and lifestyle freedom? If you want to achieve those things, get specific. What exactly does that look like? And then start to design your goals, design your life, design your day-to-day actions that's going to get you to those achievements. And that's what I did. For me, we've been plateaued at 150, 250, in that range, $1,000 every single month. Those are huge numbers. $150,000 a month, $250,000 a month. Like, those are big numbers. But guess what? We're not like some silicon, tech company that's looking to 20%, increase our growth month over month, year over year. We haven't done that, because I'm not willing to build a bigger team. I'm not willing to put in more hours. I'm not willing to expand more bandwidth because I don't want to. That might change in the future. And if it does, fine. Then I'll start doing those things. It might become that I want to take less, I want to take off more time in the future. And if that happens, maybe my revenue goes down to 50K a month or 25K a month. And that'll be my decision, because again, I know the levers to pull at this stage. And they always come back to hard work and intention. So hope that helps.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely awesome. I'm a big fan of preaching that as well. I happen to live off the grid overlooking the Tasman Sea in Tasmania. So I understand that, and I've run my business the exact same way.
I think you're the first person I've ever spoken to that's living in Tanzania.
Tasmania.
Tasmania. What? Tasmania. Yeah. See, I can't even say it right. Tasmania. The closest I've ever been to Tasmania would be Sydney, Australia. Or is New Zealand closer?
No, but it's a much more similar culture and climate to New Zealand than to Newfoundland. Because we've got cool weather, lots of ocean, as all of Australia does. But
nice.
It's a gorgeous spot.
Well, I hope to visit someday.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to have you here. And also, I wanted to talk, I know you're a huge fan of creating morning habits to maximize your energy for the day. What does your daily routine look like?
So my morning routine is very dialed in, very focused, and there's very little wiggle room in there. So I'm, pretty much up around 6 a.m. every single morning. I'm taking a nice big 16-ounce glass drink of water to kind of rehydrate after 8 hours of dehydrating while I was sleeping. Then I'm down in my gym. I have a little homemade gym here, and I built it out, and I have a virtual trainer who I work out with for 25 minutes. I do a 15-minute yoga session. I jump on my Peloton bike. I have an infrared sauna that I come back up here into my office, and I'm meditating, I'm journaling, and all of those things I just explained, those are non-negotiables, and they take about 90 minutes. So before I do anything, like even before I brew my first cup of coffee, like all of those things have been completed. And then I reward myself, by, okay, let's brew that cup of coffee. Let's get into the day. Let's open up the email. Let's check out what's going on in the world. But until I've accomplished those things, nothing else happens.
That's awesome. And just tell me, let's chat a little bit about your meditation. I didn't know we were going to go there, but I wanted to hear what your practice looks like.
Yeah, so I have this very cool device called Muse, M-U-S-E, and it actually kind of fits like a bandana, and then kind of like fits around your ears right here. It's kind of like rests on your head, and it's got little speakers as well over there. So you start meditating, and then boom, it's measuring your brain waves, and you can actually hear the music while you're meditating. But what's really interesting about it is you hear these little birds every now and then, and the more the chirping picks up, that means the more you're dropping into a meditative state. And the less bird chirping you hear, the less meditative you are, the more busy your mind is, and actually you start to kind of hear some rain and some wind come into your world. So it kind of keeps you focused on getting back into a meditative state, because otherwise your mind just kind of sometimes runs away with itself and starts thinking about, what am I going to do today? What did I watch last night? What am I going to eat for dinner? And blah, blah, blah. But because you know that your brain's being kind of measured like that, it kind of keeps you focused on, let's just focus on our breathing. Air comes in, air goes out.
Yeah, awesome. And when you first started your podcast, it was a good 7 to 9 months before you saw any profit. What do you think makes you mentally tough and resilient to get through those challenging early days?
I like to say, choose your hard. You know what? It was hard to get through those early days. And it was hard to get through those early days and get to revenue. And it was hard to work very, very hard and on a consistent basis to get to a successful business. But guess what? It's also hard to be lazy and to be depressed because you're not making any progress, and to watch your life slip away and to have your dreams not be realized. That's hard too. And so for me, it was like, let me choose my hard. And when I was just given those two options of, I'm either going to work hard towards my dreams, or I'm going to live a hard life because I'm just being lazy and non-existent, I chose my hard, and I just committed to it, and I went all in.
Nice. Nice. And also since you started your format with a 7-day podcast, you've been lining up great entrepreneurs from day one. How important has you linking your image to very successful entrepreneurs and including people like Gary Vaynerchuk, who's featured you so awesomely in the Crushing It book? How important do you think that attaching yourself to these awesome people was to your success?
Big time. Because listen, perception is reality. And when you're having a one-on-one conversation with a successful entrepreneur, with a Gary Vaynerchuk, a Tim Ferriss, a Tony Robbins, a Barbara Corcoran, like when you're talking to these people one-on-one, your listeners are like, wow, like John's having like a normal conversation with these people. Like he's having like a human to human, a friend to friend conversation. And that's kind of how I like to look at these interviews for sure. And, he's building a relationship with these people. And so when you do that, you are elevating yourself up to that level. So that's a huge benefit of podcasting and really, allowed me to align my brand with individuals like you mentioned, because perception is absolutely reality.
That's awesome. Awesome quotes in there. And one last question, I know, because you've
Sure.
got to go. You've been incredibly successful in so many areas of your life and your business. Is there anything that you still struggle with?
Nutrition, like that's my big one, like putting the right foods in my mouth. For the most part, I do. I mean, I will be honest, like,
Yeah.
I'm very healthy when it comes to my nutrition. I eat a lot of vegetables and nuts and healthy stuff. But at the same time, I'm a human being. I had some Ben & Jerry's ice cream last night. Do you guys have Ben & Jerry's in Tasmania?
They don't. But I think this
That's a
is
good
going
thing.
globally. The rest of the
That's
world
a good thing.
what it is, yeah.
It's a good thing. Ben & Jerry's is like a very high in fats and sugars ice cream, and it's amazing and it's great. But overall, it's just like I know how important it is to put the right foods in my body so I can keep up my energy and my momentum and my enthusiasm and my energy just to keep delivering value. And, that's one thing that, you have to constantly evolve with, because your body changes and your body has different wants and needs as you get older. Like when I started my podcast, I was in my early 30s. Now I'm in my 40s. Like things change, as you get older, as you mature. So that's kind of one thing that I definitely see. That I struggle with, and I'm definitely putting in the time and effort to improve.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time today, John. I really appreciate your time, and good luck with you. Do you want to share with us just quickly? I know you've got a book coming out. Do you want to give us a little tidbit about
Sure.
that?
I mean, it's not coming out till the spring of 2021. So, definitely patience is a virtue, but I'm really excited to be writing my first traditionally published book called The Common Path to Uncommon Success. The book is coming along fantastically. I'm about 34,000 words in right now. The book will be probably between 50 to 65,000 words by the end of it. So I'm probably over halfway done at this stage. But it's coming along really well. And if you want to check out eofire.com and sign up for our email newsletter list, you'll definitely stay attuned to what's going on. But I do hope that everybody that's found some value from today also checks out my podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire.
Awesome. Thank you, John. You rocked it.
Barbara, take care. Have a good day.
Thanks, John. Hey, thanks for listening. You can reach me on LinkedIn, Barbara Longue, Longue. Send me a quick message that you heard me on this podcast, or grab my new Conscious Capitalist Blueprint at newconsciouscapitalist.com. I'll be back next week with some more tips to help you grow your business right now and get ready for the next uptick.